Welcome to Pure Hustle Podcast. I'm Mike.
And this is Orlando, and we're on episode 131.
What? This is crazy. And this is a special episode because usually we only drop on Wednesdays and Sundays, but this is Friday.
Yeah, we're trying to start a tradition, seeing how the hope is.
Whoa. Careful saying starting a tradition.
Okay, but I hope it's a tradition that doesn't last long. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that sounds kind of weird, but in these times, hey, we wanted to bring something light, something enjoyable, maybe keep you distracted from what's going on. Because, you know, we're not fans of, you know, doing our recordings from the super underground bunker.
Yeah.
But, you know, sometimes, you know, we just need to think about things that aren't related to the current time. And we're going to take a little look at garage sales.
Yeah, which is kind of a trip down memory lane if you think about it, since garage sales are kind of non-existent right now.
I know, but it's only been like 2 weeks.
Yeah. I'm just saying, though, like, so anything we talk about now as far as garage sales go, you may be like, oh, yeah, but this doesn't apply now. But remember, garage sales will come back. They're going to come back.
Yeah, agreed. You know? And we just wanted to have a little bit of fun. And I think we got a lot of good feedback from our first reaction video to Amazon Empire.
Dun, dun, dun.
Rise and reign of Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, so now we're going to be doing your boy, Gary V, in his trash talk videos.
Yeah, and we're hitting up episodes 1 and 2.
Yeah.
So be aware. And by the way, in case you're wondering, this is sufficient for work if you're going to be at work. But since we're not.
Safe for work.
Safe for work.
Yeah.
It's sufficient for work.
It's sufficient for work too if your work is reselling.
Yeah. But hey, we wanted to keep it pure hustle. And so luckily Gary V he has a censored channel.
Yeah, which a lot of times just sounds like every other word is gone.
It just disappears like you watch. But if you're listening, you don't notice. If you're watching it on YouTube, you definitely notice.
That was like, man, I remember back in the day when radio was a thing. Do you remember that radio?
Yeah,
like
I think
people
so.
would still like you'd listen to music. And you have to like wait.
This little tuner thing.
Yeah, and you'd have to wait until like your song came on that you were hoping would come on. You'd even call them.
I remember. I do. Yeah, those days were kind of weird.
Now there were certain songs, and I remember specifically when I was in junior high, like Limp Bizkit was big, right?
Bizkit.
And there were certain songs that he would do, and literally, I don't even know why they put it on the radio because like you couldn't understand half of the song because it's all bleeped out.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I get that. But there was always those radio versions where people would throw in words that like, you're like, why is this word here? Like, we all know what's going on.
And then you hear the original one and you're like, wait, what? They say what?
Yeah,
I thought it was this other
thing. It changes the whole tune of the song. Yeah, I totally get that. Anyways, hey, we're going to kind of do a little analysis of Gary V's garage selling, hopefully.
Yeah. So what we're saying is, we are the experts on garage sales, and we're going to tell Gary V what he's doing wrong. So Gary V, if you're watching this, prepare to be schooled. I'm just kidding. That's not true.
Hey, if he does a reaction video to our reaction video, that'd be pretty awesome.
Whoa, that would be like Inception. Somebody make that happen. Hit up Gary V. Tell him to react to our reaction.
There we go. All right, let's start with our first clip.
All right, here we go.
Head south on River Road toward Park Avenue. Turn right onto Park Avenue.
The thing about garage sale that really turns me on is the thrill of the hunt, because it's the place where you can really score. A huge box of toys for $3 worth $300.
Yeah. Well, think about it. Yes, GP.
I just got 3 mugs. The big thing right now is I can't really look these things up and show you because I gotta get more stuff. This is the early bird kind of moment, so there's 3 or 4 right now, but I did get these 3 mugs. The WWF stuff is freshest, and we'll see how much it's worth in a minute.
Freshest.
They're freshest. Nice. That's what they are. No, but okay, I wanted to point out, think about the world before GPS. Like garage sales.
MapQuest.
I would make it to maybe 2.
Oh, yeah.
Like I have no sense of direction. You've been in a car with me, right? Without GPS?
Yeah.
And I still get lost with GPS.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a GPS guy for sure. So, yeah, I remember the days of having to print out a MapQuest before you'd go on a trip. And if someone's like, oh, we should go, stop at Taco Bell. And you're like, nope. Unless I see it on the way, like it's not on the list. It's not on my map.
Well, it was weird because I would drive to college from California, Wisconsin, and I would use those big Rand McNally maps. And I don't know, I still made it. I mean, I did end up in interesting towns every once in a while, but I don't know, it was kind of a sense of adventure. Maybe GPSs have taken away that sense of adventure.
Yeah, that's true. But I like what he said right off the bat there with the fact that
the mugs.
Yeah, well, not the mugs.
Okay, we'll talk about the mugs later.
But the fact that he loves garage sale because it's the thrill of the hunt, right? And that's one of the big reasons why we do what we do is the thrill of the hunt. It's the excitement of finding one of those random things, one of those things that you're like, whoa, I've never seen one of these, or man, I've been looking for one of these, or just like something you have no idea it's worth anything until you scan it. And then you're like, I found treasure and you didn't even know it was, right? Like it's just such a fun thing. And so, yeah, for sure. It's the thrill of the hunt, and you can get such crazy deals at garage sales.
Well, and I also like how he pointed out the early bird thing, right? Where we've talked about this when you're garage sailing, like if you're getting those first garage sales, like you don't want to waste time, right? Because you don't know what you're missing out. So did he make the wise call of just picking up stuff without researching? I think so, right? If your cost is low, it's definitely worth doing. I don't know. Did you start doing that eventually, or were you always researching?
Yeah, I mean, I was researching a lot of things. There were some things where I was like, I'll take the gamble on it, right? But I think a big part of it for him too is, and we've experienced this because we've done some filming while we're out garage sales and things like that, is he recognized like he could stop, do the research, do the explanation, do basically the Instagram of like, here's how much I can make on this. That's going to cost some time. I think there's always time for some research, right? You probably, especially if you're talking about spending quite a bit of money, I agree. Early bird gets the worm. It's good to be in and out of garage sales quickly. But sometimes you can move so quickly that you're missing stuff because you didn't research things that you didn't know anything about. So I would say you do want to move quickly. But if you're not worried about making an Instagram or a YouTube video, take the 30 seconds it takes to look up a few items on eBay. It'll pay off.
Yeah. I mean, I would say garage sales is the one place you're okay to fail, right? Like thrift stores. Like it's a higher cost, right? If you're going RA, definitely a higher cost, right? But at a garage sale, hey, you lose a couple bucks here and there. I mean, we've all had bad buys. I know there's some people that claim they've never had bad buys, and you know that could be true. Maybe it's just us, but I would say garage sales are definitely the place where you can take those risky options in the beginning, especially early, because earlier in the morning is where I've had a lot of huge scores right now, but also later. And we'll see that later on in these videos. By the way, again, we're doing episodes 1 and 2. So this is the beginning of episode 1.
Are they in order? Like we'll go all the way through 1 and then into 2? Yeah. Or are they kind of mixed up?
Yeah, but we won't know when we jump into 2. I'll announce it.
Oh, you'll know?
Hopefully. We'll see. We'll see how much I remember after editing. All right. Let's jump to our next clip here.
Usually, truly, you only need about $100.
Yeah.
You know?
Especially when you're starting out.
I mean, you could do stuff with $20.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to pay less than $1 out here for everything. I'm trying to pay $2. This is about to be bad.
Is he doing some crazy parking right now? Is that what he said? This is about to be bad.
I don't know. I think he pulled a crazy U-turn after that.
Yeah. That's one thing I noticed too, even going with you, because I'm like an ultra safe driver, and I had to learn to be far more aggressive because of garage sales. Because man, there's people will double park, you know, they'll block the way, and you got to sometimes just.
Were you ever in the car when I pulled one of those like middle of the lane and just got out and left my door open?
Yeah, and car running and stuff. Like, yeah. I'm like,
I don't try to do that too often, but sometimes I'm so in the zone that it happens.
Yeah, and then he wonders why all of his stuff gets stolen all the time.
True.
Somebody stole my car. You left it running in the middle of the street. Like,
actually, I did have a car stolen one time because I left the key in the trunk.
Yeah, you talked about it.
Did I talk about it in the podcast? It's such a terrible experience. Terrible. I mean, it was the first day I was moving into an apartment. You know, did I finish the story about what happened with the car?
I think so.
Like some guy like was racing it and he rolled it down a hill. Okay. All right. Anyways, if you're wondering, I don't know. I would say go to episode whatever.
Yeah, just watch all of our episodes and you'll find the story about Orlando's car being stolen. But I like what he says with $100. I think that's good. When I first started, I would go with maybe $30. It wasn't a lot when I first started reselling because I didn't have the experience. I was kind of afraid to make big purchases, but I still was making a lot of money. And then the other thing too is, I'm wanting to spend $1. I don't want to spend $2, right? And I think that's a good mindset to have, especially if you're just starting out and this is like a hobby for you. Is you don't have to worry necessarily. Now, if you come across something that's like a grail item and you realize like, hey, I can pick this up for $50 and I can sell it for $300. I mean, it's worth it, obviously. But if you're just starting out and there's something and somebody wants $10 for it, and you're just like, I'm not really comfortable with making this commitment yet, do that. I'm only paying $1 the first few garage sales I go to for items until I make some money and really learn what I'm doing here.
Yeah, and you could start with 20. I mean, that's how I started when I first started going into reselling. Me and 2 other guys were like, hey, let's spend $20 and see how far we can go, right? The other thing, though, I wanted to address was he talked about, I want to get things for 50 cents. Right. And I don't know. I would say that's kind of hard, at least where we're at. Right. Because usually the stuff that's going to have a greater return is going to cost you more than 50 cents. right? And if you keep buying 50-cent items that only flip for $10, like you're going to be losing a lot of time.
Yeah, time is a thing. And I think he's not even really thinking about time at this point, because what he's trying to do, I think, with these trash talks is just show people what a little bit of time and energy can do with very small capital, right? Because a lot of times if you're trying to start a business, you're looking at huge capital investments. You're talking about trying to convince your family and friends to loan you $10,000 each so you can get this, venture up and running. When it's garage sales and it's like, oh, I don't have a lot of money. I mean, he talks a lot and other stuff about go to the Craigslist free section, right? But yeah, I mean, he's mugs, right? Like the very first things he picked up were mugs. You're probably not spending more than 50 cents a mug. I mean, maybe you're spending $1 if it's like a really good one. But the nice thing is,
like a Pure Hustle podcast mug. Yeah. Like, can I get that right there?
Yeah.
If you're listening to the podcast, I'm trying to get my hand right.
It's so good. It's,
right there.
It's sprouting a plant out of it.
Go.
The life is
the life of Pure Hustle podcast.
But I think you're right. I think you're going to get to a place where it's not worth the return on investment. But man, can you just imagine you're a high school kid and you really got nothing but time, or you're a college kid and you're on break, or you're just doing a side hustle thing, and it's not like you're hurting for time. You're not trying to make everything efficient. You're not trying to make your packing as efficient as possible time-wise. You're not trying to save 2 minutes here, a minute there. You're just like, hey, I bought this for 50 cents. I made $8 off of it. If I can do 10 of those a week, that's my, going out and watch a movie with my friends or whatever money. So, hey, it's not a bad gig to get started with.
Like I so wish I was doing this in college, because I remember doing menial jobs. I remember one thing I had to do was like I had to, after assemblies, like stack chairs and put tables away, and I was only making, I think half of it went to my tuition, the other half went to my pocket, and I think it was not very much money. Where I could have just gone garage selling one Saturday and probably made more than I made in a month.
Oh, for sure.
So just something to think about. All right, let's see where he ends up.
All right.
It's Jeffrey. Wow, it's the $30 one. So we just looked it up. The Jeffrey giraffe Toys R Us FAO shorts combo, $30. Paid 50 cents. I don't know what else to say. After eBay fees, just like a quick $20. Just a lot of people not making $20 an hour. And that's just one of the things. Wait till I look up the Snuffleupagus. FAO Schwartz was a very famous toy store in New York. Anything FAO Schwartz is always going to hit at 50 cents, period, end of story. You know themes and you know pop culture. So much of the stuff that I care about with nostalgia comes from my early garage sale days, I'm sure, because Happy Days and Three's Company and Reese's Pieces and Tony the Tiger and just like nostalgia, pop culture. I'm like one with pop culture, which is why I was good at garage selling, looking up on phone.
One with pop culture.
No, that's good. I mean, it's true though. Like we've talked about that.
That he's one with pop culture?
Not that he's one with pop culture, but just the idea that you can probably use your own experiences as a good guide. Because no matter what generation you're in, the things that were really important to you and your generation, whatever shows you watch, whatever type of music you listen to, there are people out there who are interested in the same things. And so, yep, there you go. There's a He-Man.
Even
right?
He-Man, right? If you're watching on YouTube, they brought out He-Man. And if like He-Man toys, like if you find the right ones, they can be money.
Yeah. So if you think of the things you like, I mean, that's a good way to start. I like how he says, okay, like he's one with pop culture. And it's true. Like he's very connected to what's big in culture. I mean, that's kind of what he's known for and how he's able to like kind of understand social media and those types of things. But if you just think about the things you're good at. If you're like, you know what, I'm not good at pop culture, but I love classical music, or I love photography, or I love whatever your thing is, sewing, and that, whatever your hobbies and interests are, whatever you're passionate about, start there. I mean, you're going to be able to find the things. And if you know that these things are valuable or interesting or nostalgic to you, then they are for somebody else too.
Yeah, agreed. And the thing is, everything he's mentioning, like at one point in time, like we can all relate to something, right? Maybe not those shows, but again, we've talked about, and obviously times are a little different now, but people are still looking. Actually, people are still looking. I mean, I've had a couple of eBay sales of some vintage stuff, people are still looking for certain things that take them back, right? That are nostalgic. So yeah, it's a big deal. Pop culture now and pop culture back then. And like you said, yeah, it doesn't mean that you have to like know basketball or you have to know shows, but something that's current to the moment, or vintage to the moment, which can bring you profit. So agreed with that.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, ready for the next clip?
I think so.
All right.
Exciting to me. Vintage Lego thing never opened. 2003. Jesus, I'm getting old. But it's still 15 years old. I'm excited to open this up. This was a huge score. I already looked it up. paid $3. They wanted $5, paid $3.
I don't know if I would pick up the
for
roller
these
skates.
Spider-Man skates in package, never opened as well, or opened. Pretty excited about it.
Oh, he got busted.
Don't worry. That's so awesome. I heard.
You can tell he feels bad. He's acting like he doesn't feel bad, but he feels bad.
You think so? I don't know.
Yeah, she goes, at least go around the corner.
Don't kill me.
Look how quick he's
So good.
He's like gunning it.
So good. Lego.
Okay.
Yeah, and he even went around the corner before he actually looked it up. Yeah, he felt bad about that.
You think so?
And I think,
I don't know.
well, I mean, you could tell he looked a little embarrassed, and he like closes, instantly pushes the toy into the trunk, closes the bed of the truck, walks in, drives, and then looks it up. Like, if he didn't care, he would have been like, yeah, okay, and then just kept going. But I think we've all been there, right? We've all been caught. You know, sometimes we don't care. We're looking stuff up. I've even had people like, they know I'm looking up, like, well, how much is it worth on eBay? And I'll tell them. Sometimes I'll be straight up like, I'm a reseller. I can get $50 for this, but it's going to cost me X amount to ship. It's probably going to take like 8 months for me I can only pay you $5, right? Like, that's a good place to be, or I can give you $10, whatever it is. But yeah, sometimes there's that embarrassing of like, are they going to see me looking this up?
Well, here's the other thing, and we haven't talked about the elephant vehicle in the room. He's in a Range Rover, right? To me, that is not the car I would go garage selling in.
Yeah, so you're really big about like, you want to appear to be
resourceful.
No, you want to appear to be as if you are not well off. Is your
Well, yeah, but I'm also not. I mean, a Range Rover though, like, when have you seen okay, no, listen, I have no problem with anybody driving a Range Rover. I'm just saying, like, if you could find a vehicle that isn't, now granted, he's not driving like a Bentley or Lambo or whatever, right? I get that. But I do know that like people do check out the car that you have when you pull up to a garage sale, right? And so to me, I think it takes away from your bargaining power.
Maybe. I mean, I think in that point, you're almost like playing on someone's charity though. Like you've talked about like going, like having like, you know, you just say breakfast and you get some stuff on your shirt, you're like, whatever, right?
But
Like,
that was all in jest.
I get that. But like the idea, I think, is there of like, not that you're necessarily like trying to deceive or trying to play on their charity, but I think there's a little bit of that. But I almost think that's such a small part of bargaining. Because I mean, there are people who are going to be like, hey, they have a nicer vehicle, I'm going to charge them more. But the reality is, I don't know. I just think about it like, if I'm charging a certain amount for a service, right? Like for my videography, I charge, you know, $1,000 for a wedding shoot or whatever it is. And then I find out I'm doing somebody's like, who's really, really rich. And I'm like, well, I'm going to charge them $3,000 because they've got a lot of, like, I don't know. That just doesn't seem right to me.
Okay. All right. I hear what you're saying. But again, research is important. Don't be scared to take out your phone. And the lady wasn't like mad. She knew it. You know, she's kind of messing around. She didn't have to call him out. You know?
If you didn't catch that, if you're just listening, the lady kind of shouts out, at least go around the corner so I don't know how much I lost.
That's a pretty good impression, Mike.
Thanks.
That's good. Yeah. All right. So anyways, don't be scared to take out your phone. That is the moral of the clip.
Yeah, but be sneaky at the same time. And if you are going to take out your phone,
you got to be sneaky.
Here's the way I like to do it. I'll pick up an item, and if I want to research that item, right? And I'm like, ooh, this might be a good one. And there's not a lot of people who are going to like snag it, because I've had that where people snag things if you put it back down. But I'll like look at something, and if I'm the only one there's only somebody else in there in another area, I'll walk over and pick something else up, and I'll use my eBay while I'm standing in front of this other thing, but I'm looking up the thing that I originally
Oh no, I've done that too. That's a good
and
way
then
to do
ask,
things.
like, well, how much for this? And then, oh, okay. And then go back and pick up a couple, well, how much? Because now you know what it's worth, but it's not like, hey, they don't see your eyes light up, right? And you're not like, oh, I gotta buy this, right?
True.
Like you can kind of play it off a little bit. So
all right. I see. What
be
you're
sneaky,
saying.
but don't be afraid, but also be afraid.
But the other thing is, I take out my phone on purpose and I say, hey, I'm really trying to buy this. And I'll talk about this later on, because there's going to be another scenario where people are looking stuff up on eBay and he gets really annoyed. I think you can play that to your advantage. But till then, let's just keep moving.
All right.
And here we go.
A couple minutes ago, I knew nothing about Cherish Bears. Now I'm a Cherish Bears expert.
Nice.
Huge score. Paid 20 for the whole lot.
I don't even know what Cherish
Got
Bears
about
are.
14, 30 regular bears in this sand set. I'm going to look this up. It's going to get crazy. Unbelievable. Yeah.
He doesn't need to look it up. He's an expert.
Well, yeah, but that's the beauty of, think about it. Like if we try to go garage selling 20 years ago, we'd be completely lost. I know I'd be lost.
Yeah, I did. I've told the story where I went one time and I literally had a pen and paper. I wrote down the address and the items they had, and I went home and I looked up stuff on eBay, and I was like, all right, I'll go back out later if any of this stuff's worth anything.
Yeah. I mean, now were you able to pick stuff up? I can't remember.
I think I did, but it was all junk. Like I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you really do become experts in stuff you had no idea about, right? Like I know brands of things that I'm like, why would I ever know the brands of stuff? But you
very true. Very true. But he was willing to take the chance. Actually, the next part of that video, that lady that he approaches, bought all the other Cherish Bears. So he missed out. So maybe he missed out because he's spending too much time researching, and he should have just got them all.
Maybe. But if you don't know, like if you saw a bunch of them and you didn't know what they were, would you just buy them? Or would you be like, are these worth buying?
Usually, you know what I do? I usually look like and try to find one that would pay for the lot. Right? Because once you find one that pays for the lot, then you're golden, right? Because let's say at the worst, each of them sell for $1, you're still going to make profit. Right? That's just the way I do things. So I don't know. Maybe you can, in the future use that. Don't know.
Yeah, that's good. We should, you guys should all bombard Gary V's account with Cherish Bear questions.
Yes.
And just be like, to the Cherish Bear expert, I have a question.
There you go.
And then ask your questions about Cherish Bears, and then let them know that Pure Hustle Podcast sent you.
There you go. Just tag us on there. Yeah. That would work.
All right.
All right. Hey, before we move on though, hey, if you haven't been following us on social media, we are Pure Hustle Podcast on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. We are Pure Hustle Cast on Twitter. You can also find us on Facebook. Wait, I already said, am I missing a social media? I feel like
all the social media.
Okay.
And we're on the medias that are social.
I think we got them all. All right. And on YouTube, if you're listening to the podcast, but you want to watch the video, jump on over to YouTube, hit that subscribe button and that bell notification to know when things... Wow, that's a good sound effect.
Thank you.
To know when things are going on. Always, you can give us a call. So, yes, hit the like button, especially on this video. 619-738-1170 is our number, 619-738-1170. You could also shoot us an email at purehustlepodcast@gmail.com. That's purehustlepodcast@gmail.com. And if you want to say thank you, and actually, you don't have to at all right now. Things are, don't even. We're not even going to bring it up. But if you'd like to write us a review, that's always greatly appreciated. iTunes, all the reviews have been amazing, have been awesome. And if you want to talk about the reaction videos and what your thoughts are about that, hopefully they're positive. That's always appreciated because it helps us out a lot.
Yeah. And how about this? Let us know down in the comments right now. What is the thing that you went out and one day you went to a garage sale and you didn't know anything about it, and by the time you left that garage sale, you felt like you were an expert in it because what's your Cherish Bears? That's what I want to know.
What's your Cherish Bear?
What's your Cherish Bears? Down below. Put it in the comments. We'd love to hear.
Nice. All right, let's get moving.
If I was really doing this,
Turn right to stay on
I'd make
Passaic Avenue.
$1,000 a week, easy. And if you
think so? Easy
on just Saturday, just working Saturday.
Yeah, I get that.
So,
what if D-Rock said, "No, I don't believe you, Gary"?
I genuinely
how would that have gone down?
Goodwill, eBay, buying bulk on eBay, selling on Amazon. I just think this is the $100,000 a year thing for so many people making $30,000 to $60,000 a year. If they just are passionate and love, you saw how much she loved it, that woman? We got to show her. That's the key to trash talk, the passion.
Yeah. What do you think?
Well,
you called out the easy thing.
Okay. I think it takes time. I think for Gary V, it would be an easy $1,000 because he's done the eBay thing before, right? I mean, actually, what's interesting? These trash talk videos aren't his first trash talk videos. He actually has videos a couple years back that he did the same thing. It just, he wasn't as big. And so not a lot of people noticed, right? But I think Gary V could. I think as a new seller, it'll take you time. I do think $500 a month is easy.
Yeah. Oh, $500 a month is easy for sure.
Whoa, that got really loud. Did you notice that? Okay, never mind.
Yeah, $500 a month I think is fairly easy. I guess I shouldn't say easy. It's very doable.
It's doable. Yeah.
It's doable without killing yourself. Now I think he was saying, what did he say? $1,000 a week, just on Saturdays, right? And I think where it gets tough with that is you're hoping that the garage sales are going to be all hits. Because sometimes, I know you say you always have 250 days, and I think probably they average out to at least that, and well more than that. But you're going to go out some days, and it's just nothing. And unless you're willing to buy 1,000 items that you can make 50 cents on each, and
it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, right? If you're willing to buy a bunch of I bought this mug for 50 cents and I'm going to be able to sell it for $2.50 plus the shipping. And after eBay fees, I'm going to make like $1. And if you're willing to do that, but the amount of time it's going to take, because what we're usually looking for is items where you're going to have a good ROI, but also that the money is worth the time. So usually that number, I think starting out, like I felt like for me, it was like $20, 15 to $20 an item, felt pretty good. Then that number starts to increase as it's like, man, if I'm doing 10 shipments a day, I want to make sure that the time I spend packing these items and printing out the labels isn't a 50-cent game, because you got to add that into your hours too.
Yeah. But I do think in time, 1,000 a week could be easy, right? But garage sales, like it's only going to be well executed if you know your stuff, right? Because I've shared the story before. When my buddy and I would go garage selling back in the day, we'd have days where like, man, there was nothing. Right. But now, I would say pretty much every Saturday. I mean, if you follow us on Instagram, I have some Saturdays where it's like barely anything and some Saturdays where it like makes up for the other Saturdays. Right. So you don't know. But again, it is something that, again, we're talking about uncertain times now. Right. But let's say we do rebound, or I think it's still doable. It's still doable. Right. And even now, I mean, we're kind of in a test of reselling right now, right? As people are they going to be looking to buy stuff, and will online sales go up as people are unable to buy stuff at brick and mortar? So we'll just have to wait and see.
All right, here we go.
I got to look this up. I know this is a Thundercat, but it's 87 a little later. This might be rare. Thundercats! But this is the big score, $10 for this monster box of Matchbox and Hot Wheels. We're gonna have to go through it. The condition's a little meh. So
I think we own that
these were not played.
I don't know about we.
Well, yeah, but it was the Purist podcast buy.
These are pretty banged up. We're still gonna go through it. Pretty pumped up. All right, guys, garage sailing again. Huge score. Papa Smurf with the tag. We're gonna look that up. Papa Smurf plush with the tag. What?
We love you, Gary, by the way. We're just fast. I'm just joking.
This is super interesting to me.
Hey, no trash talk on trash talk.
There you go.
I've never seen this figure.
The Thundercat.
I feel like he's rare, man.
Did you watch Thundercat?
Because I've just never seen
But I had
it.
a friend who read the comics.
That's him.
Okay.
Holy crap.
Got the
Bang.
shiner.
Bang. 35.
Is he looking up sold comps? You
Wow.
can't tell.
Wow.
No, he looks
Look at
sold.
this. All day. 35, 35,
There we go.
30, 59 if you have the gun.
How much did he say he paid for that?
I think it's 50 cents. I think he
All
tells us
day.
here in a moment. If he doesn't, I know what it is.
That's why I love this game. Picked up this Thundercat. I knew it was Thundercats because the LJN underneath, because I'm knowledgeable like that. Literally,
Yeah.
it was a throw-in with the Matchboxes. Like 10
No, it's
cents.
cute.
Just looked it up.
10
Watch
cents.
this.
Okay, so 10 cents.
Yeah, man. Dude, $30. Like, hold on. Like, trash talk. Talk to me. 5 cents.
Oh,
30
5
bucks. People working 4 hours for 30 bucks.
It's a great point,
That's
though.
motivation.
No, and here's the thing. Okay, now, if you're wondering what we talk about, how we own those. So I actually bought those. I think it was those cars. So they're listed on eBay for a nice amount, because what if Gary V becomes like this?
Yeah. As seen on Gary V.
super
As seen on
big
Trash
time-
Talk.
Yeah, and I mean he already is. Actually, there are other people that have done the same, but I don't know. It was nice to you just pick up those cars, and so they're sitting in my.
Would you
inventory.
mind? Are you comfortable sharing how much you purchased them for?
Oh, I purchased them for 60.
60. Okay.
Yeah, it was like a bidding war.
And he paid 10.
Yeah, so he made profit off of me.
He made profit. There you go.
so
Yeah.
it worked out. So hey, I did it for the podcast.
So we know exactly how much he did make on that one.
Well,
So-
our hope is that one day it'll sell and we'll be able to share the whole experience.
Yeah. So if you want to learn about that, then maybe jump on board and buy that Matchbox box from us from Gary V. It would be like buying it indirectly from
Or
Gary
Gary V, if you're listening, we would love for you to sign it. Like that'd be
Ooh.
great, right? Instantly bring up value.
Yes.
So now here's the thing. Would you have picked up those cars?
For $10 for all of those. Now I would for a different reason.
Okay. Oh, I know where you're going with this. Okay, go ahead.
I have this weird board game that I play, which
I don't know where you're going with this.
it's a tabletop game with miniatures. Kind of like, you know how you have those Warhammer miniatures?
Okay, yeah, I have one box left, by the way.
You know how expensive those are, right? Like
Yeah.
they're so valuable for little tiny toys. I found a game called Gaslands, and it uses like Hot Wheels as the miniatures. So it's so cool when people like paint them and redecorate them. So it's cool to have old ones. So I would probably do it just to have a whole bunch of them for cheap. Plus my son loves Hot Wheels and that kind of stuff. And it looked like a pretty big box, but if I wasn't collecting it for a game like that, I don't know. I mean, probably not, because the last few times I've been to swap meets, it's like several booths have like boxes just full of Hot Wheels.
Really?
That are very inexpensive. So
okay, yeah, and I think this episode, maybe we'll catch it later. I can't remember what I edited, but he does make a major like score buying a box. Now, you got to think, right? When you pick up a bunch of stuff like that, you have two options. You're going to spend all the time listing them, or you're going to lock them up, right? That's the difficult part. Now, luckily for Gary V, he picked up that Thundercats, so it'd be worth it. Right. And and you know what? There's money in toys. That's the one field I wish I really was better at. Right. Like even that I know that He-Man's not worth much, but I know there's certain He-Man.
Hey, why do you think that He-Man's not worth much?
Why is it chilling up there?
Because it's decoration.
Oh, it's your inventory actually?
Yeah, until it sells.
Okay, I didn't know that.
I bought that at a garage sale.
Okay, I'll be more careful with it.
He says my score isn't worth much. It's worth a lot.
Well, I think the Dragon Ball Z.
My clock?
Right there, the clock up there, I think that's pretty cool.
It is cool. Everything I buy from garage sales are cool.
That is true. Okay. All right. I think we're ready.
This is the Bash.
I think we're ready to move on.
Inventory.
Mike's inventory.
I love being the first sale. Great. Thank you so much. People are going to understand mug life. Mug life. Mug life. Mug life. She clearly wanted $2 for it. She didn't get it. She got one. I'm telling you, you're going to see this Hanna-Barbera, but we were the first sale. But I'm telling you right now, wait till you see how I market this rare mug. She didn't get it.
Okay, I got somebody talking now.
Bang, 20, what? Oh, did it come with the little guy? Yeah, it's a lot. But 8 all day. 50 cents, $8.
All day?
All right, there's a lot to dissect here.
You're like pretty anti-mug life, huh?
I'm okay, but I'm not anti-mug life. I think when you start reselling, mugs are a good thing. But here's the thing. You get caught up. Like he says, 8 is good, right? $8. Now, that may be good. I mean, but let's say you got to make sure you charge shipping. If let's say you don't charge shipping, like all your profits are gone. Yeah. Right? Because even let's say you did our FOMO in our Mug Life video.
Yeah. Bling. I'm going to try to put it up here in this corner.
Right there.
Right there. Check it out.
Okay. All right. Now you got to commit to it though. Everybody's going to be waiting for it to. Everybody's going to be waiting for it to show up. All right. So let's say you don't charge shipping, you're not going to make any money on that, right? Because padded priority is about $7.33, and then you got your eBay fees and your PayPal. You're going to be in negative, right? So you got to be careful about that. But if you can find like certain mugs that are $20, $30, I mean, I've had mugs that I sold for $50. I think it's worth it. The other thing, what was this comment there? I missed this comment. I can't remember. But the thing is,
how he's going to market.
Yeah, how is he gonna market? Yeah, what are your thoughts on his comment? Like, I'm gonna market this baby.
Like, as in, like, was he saying like how he's gonna like description words he's gonna use for this mug, or like
that's what I was wondering too.
Okay,
like okay, so you can market on eBay technically. Yeah, you know your pictures, your return policy, your price. You have a sale, like. But you have to understand, like, there's only so much you can market on eBay, right? So again, it's about sourcing good things. Even promoted listings can only take you so far, because if they're not things that people are willing to buy, it doesn't matter how much you promote it, people aren't going to buy. You know, so just some thoughts. But yeah, we're not. I wouldn't say I'm anti mug life. I would say it should be hashtag the right mug life.
Hashtag right mug life.
There you go. Right mug life. $20 plus net profits.
I love the way it just rolls off the tongue. Right mug life.
$20 plus net profit. That's exactly the mug life you should be living. All right, let's see if he picks up more mugs.
I'm trying to figure out a good price for this.
Back at the cars.
What do you think about 30 for all the cars?
I think we're on episode 2, by the way.
The cars.
Everything.
Yeah.
How much?
30.
30.
He's giving the first number here.
Yeah, we got to.
I mean, I said 25 for the box, so I mean. With that one,
yep.
These?
For these, I do. You got them for $10.
Honestly, you gotta go up to 40 for all of it. Just because I know what I have in here, I sell
you
on
better
eBay.
say she didn't get it.
And I know you have the Tonkins that are very good.
He wanted 30. He didn't get it.
Yeah, no,
all right.
I would say yeah.
I'll do that. Okay,
40?
it's fair.
All right, no
I
problem.
think it's a fair price.
I think it's fair.
Because
Yeah,
they're
if he
hard
didn't
to get
get
rid
it.
of.
Yes.
He wanted
And
it for 30.
it's a nice set.
Thank you.
I mean, the case alone is nice.
Thank you.
I know it's old.
Yeah, it's banged up, but it's good.
Glad they're going to-
I'm gonna leave the non-cars for you.
Yeah, you go.
Okay.
What
Thank
if,
you so
what if
much.
that was money right there that he just cast aside?
That was the most valuable thing in the purchase.
That happens
right?
sometimes though. Like you're so focused.
Thanks, brother.
No problem.
I bought a
Appreciate it,
camera
man.
with a
Wish
case.
you
And
well.
the case
Take
sold
care of
more than
yourself.
the camera did.
Yep.
And I didn't
I
realize.
can see that. I can see that.
Destroyed their faces. That's at least a hundo.
Best line. Destroyed their faces. That is the best line of the entire episode.
No, but he just proved a point there. So one thing I want to kind of to capitalize on. He paid 40. He said at least a hundo, right? So
Yeah.
he knows he's going to get, or he's hoping he's going to get $60 net profit or maybe gross profit. I don't know. But that is actually far less than a 50-cent buy that's going to get you $8 net profit,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
But to him, it was actually worth more because one purchase, the amount he could flip for, if he could like lot all that stuff together, I don't know if that's what he was planning on doing, but that kind of shows like, even if the ROI is less, right? The ROI, you can buy an item for a penny and sell it for $1. That's incredible ROI. But if you can buy an item for $10 and sell it for $30, you know, it's actually might be more worth your time. And I think he kind of proved that there.
Yeah. I mean, I would say with the negotiation, I don't know why he buckled. Like I was kind of surprised. First of all, he gave the first number. He shouldn't have given the first number.
It's true.
Second, he should have. I could see Gary. So we've talked about this in our Never Split the Difference review.
Mhm.
How one of the hardest lines is supposed to be, "How am I supposed to do that?" Right? But I think he could do it. Like I'm surprised. Like he didn't make a line. Like
What I almost wondered though is, was there more to it? Because the guy did say, I said 25 for that. And then this, right? So maybe he'd already gotten prices and then he just kind of threw together the lot price. How about 30 for everything? Right. So maybe he got individual prices on the different sections. So
it's possible.
Yeah.
It's possible. But you know, and the other thing is, he could have maybe taken, when he took out those items, he goes, "Hey, yeah, you know, I'm okay with the 40, but if we take these items out, can we make it 30? You know what I mean? That was another option he could have had, right, to break down that price. But I think that is the score. And this is actually episode 2, by the way, just so you guys know. So if you want to go back and watch the full episodes, but I think he had movement there to kind of get it for the price he wanted. But you know,
hey, either way, he destroyed their faces.
he did destroy their faces.
Yeah. Next time you leave a garage sale, like destroy
I'm gonna do that in the next
faces.
Instagram story where I get a score. I'm gonna like destroy
say-
their faces.
Check out episode 131.
There you go.
Just leave it at that.
Oh, this is cool.
Yeah, it's all Olympic pins.
That's really cool.
You see, I had them on sale for $1 a piece. 25.
I would do it for 20.
Just like a
They're not
house
doing me
in
any
the
good.
distance.
You got it for 20.
Thank you, brother.
Now, let me tell you about that pin.
Which one? Oh, this
Right
one.
there.
Okay.
That is specially made for Calgary
Yes.
and the Calgary Olympics. It's a large pin,
You think Gary Vee's
It can
actually
go
like, listening
anywhere from
intentionally?
30 to-
He already made the deal.
$50.
Really?
$50, yeah.
All right, guys, we struck again. This is insane. I just bought a ton of Olympic pins. He wanted a buck a
pretty
piece.
cool.
I got the whole
He
collection
didn't get it.
Yeah.
for 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
That's a
10,
lot.
11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41 pins on the first
Yeah,
thing.
that's
You want a
on
dollar a
one
piece?
sleeve.
I paid 20 for the whole thing. And boom. And boom. I don't even want to.
Oh my
And
goodness.
boom. And
Whoa,
boom.
that's a lot.
And
That is a
boom.
lot.
We got to look this up.
It's
Take this in there. Start looking up. D-Rock, come with me. I have
We need a
funny
D-Rock
feeling
in our
that's like
lives,
400 or
you know?
500
Here, look that
bucks.
up. Yeah, you come with me.
Yeah. How about we would have a ton of garage sale footage if we had the D-Rock? That'd be pretty sweet. And D-Rock, if you ever want to work for us, you know, we can't pay you much, but you know,
No.
you guys be part of Pure Hustle Podcast.
Yeah, and you know, like it would just be good for the community. We
There
could
you
pump
go.
out a ton of content and just, you know, help people out.
There
so.
you go. There you go. Right? Be altruistic about it.
Yeah.
All right. What are your thoughts on that one?
I mean, I think that's great. I think whenever you can get a bulk buy like that and get a ton of stuff, I got Disney pins one time from somebody who was a collector and had a whole bunch of them, and I got them at a pretty good price. The hard part is though, usually when people have stuff like that, they don't want to let it go for cheap, right? Sometimes you get lucky. I think he got a good. He got lucky to be able to get rid of them at that. Like you said, the guy was like, "Well, they're not doing me any good, so you can have them." Right? If somebody's willing to let them go, but a lot of times with collector things like that, people have a sentimental connection with it more than they think they do. Like they put it out in the garage sale, but they put it out thinking that somebody else is going to have the same connection to it.
Correct. I see what you're saying. And those are the hard ones. That's where I use the line, like, seems like you're emotionally attached to this one. And then, you start the conversation. Now, here's my thoughts on that. It's going to be a lot of work. And actually, what he does do, he does have the people that work for him, like, list them all. They actually do a live Twitch stream of it. And you can catch that on Gary V's channel. But it ended up being probably the most profitable out of a lot of the items. And we'll see kind of a small recap later on in our reaction video of all the stuff from episode 2. I didn't have a recap from episode 1 that I threw on here, but look for those bulk buys. I mean, those can make your Saturday. They can make your month.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I think about, this was in a garage sale, but the Swatch watches that I bought, I bought like 8 of them. And for like $13 or something, I made, I've already made like $800. So yeah, keep an eye for those things, definitely worth it.
All right.
All right, let's move on.
How much for
$5 for the whole bag.
I don't know why that went out. Okay, so he picked up Thomas the Train.
5 for all this Thomas the Train stuff.
There's money in Thomas the Train.
See what it looks
You think so?
Yeah.
What's going to freak is Justin. He's all about Thomas the Train. Oh my God. Early birds
So
get
excited.
worms, smart snails get scores. I just paid $5 at 1:07 p.m. for a boatload.
1:07 p.m.
Sometimes my good purchases come later.
Thomas the
1
Train.
o'clock? Are they even open anymore out here?
Look up Thomas the Train case. This case is worth $30. $10 for the case. $21 for the case.
There you go.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, he's just so confident, and I think there's something that's part of the endearing nature of Gary Vee is just his like extreme confidence, right? That case is worth $30, $10. But like he just knows, like when he goes for something, and I'm sure he does have like a lot of fails, and he's the first one to say like fail, and go on. But he's just so confident that in his ability to succeed that he just keeps going and he knows what he's doing, even if he doesn't know what he's doing. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
And so I think if a guy like that were to try and make it in the reselling world, he'd make it in the reselling
100%.
world.
But here's the thing. This is what I wanted to talk about a few clips ago, was he talks about passion, right? Passion is what drives you here, right? And so I've talked about this myself. The reason I stepped away from Amazon for a little bit, which I don't know, I'm kind of glad, I'm kind of not. I don't know. Amazon right now is kind of interesting, but I enjoyed finding scores at garage sales way more than I enjoyed walking into a Target or a Walmart and doing retail arbitrage, right? And so you got to have that passion, and there has to be, a healthy confidence, right? I do think there's that. Now, talk to me. What Thomas the Train?
Yeah. Well, I mean, Thomas the Train is tough because it's one of those things that they're still making them. You can walk into a Walmart right now on the shelf and buy Thomas the Train.
Okay.
And then there's older Thomas the Train. And I honestly don't know. I haven't done enough research to know like what's worth money and what's not worth money. But I know that Thomas the Train is one of those things.
It's expensive.
It's expensive
Retail.
because people will get collections of them, right? Kind of like Legos. I think about it like this: like people over time, and more than Legos, because Legos people buy sets, and sometimes I don't know. It's kind of different. But Thomas the Train, everything goes together.
Mm-hmm.
So people will slowly over time, like from the time a kid is first getting into Thomas the Train, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 years old, till the time they're like 8, and they're like, okay, I'm done with this. They're building this huge collection. They've got the Thomas the Train table. They've got cars that they've collected over time. All the pieces kind of go together, kind of like Hot Wheels or something like that. Like you're building this collection, and then they outgrow it, and the parents have to figure out what to do with it. Well, if you've got a young kid who's getting into Thomas the Train, you got 2 options: go to Walmart and pay $6 for one train car, or pay $80 for a lot, and you get somebody's entire collection, right? And so I think that's where there's money. There is people are willing to they're willing to get rid of this. My kid has this collection. It's taking up a big portion of their room. They've outgrown it. I just want it gone. And then I'll give you an example. Beyblades. I found a Beyblade bag at a thrift store, and I think I paid $5 for it. And it probably had like 40 Beyblades in it. They were like these tops that had these things, and it came with some other toys too. But just that bag of Beyblades, I was able to sell for like $60.
Okay.
Right. And so I probably could have even got more if I held on to it.
Yeah, probably.
But I was just thinking like, I didn't do all kinds of research because some of them were in parts and pieces and things. But somebody whose kid gets into Beyblades, they have an option. Go and buy a brand new Beyblade for $15 or pay $60 and get enough Beyblades that their kid is happy for the rest of their life. right? Like,
Yeah,
and so I think that's
yeah.
why those types of toys, like collections like that, I think there's a lot of room to move on those.
No, I agree. And some of those, is the best way is just to lot them up.
Yep.
Right? Because people really like them lotted up because they just want to tell the kid, here you go. Here's all the Thomas you'll ever need, right? Because I know for my own kid, all the Thomas that he ever had for both my boys was from garage sales. Actually, I need to list those Thomas.
Yeah,
They're sitting in the
lot them
tub.
up.
They've been there for a long time.
Hey,
maybe it's time.
Now's the time.
There you go. So yeah, and by the way, we haven't talked much about this, but right now, if you're looking for things to sell, and we don't do bolos really, but on these episodes, looking at your kids' toys. Like, take a look at things that have not been used for a while, because maybe people are trying to find toys that they can't. They don't want to go out to the store and look for toys. They want to get essential things, but maybe they're looking for toys.
Yeah, and I like that you even brought up the idea of buying for your own kids at garage sales, because I'll give you an example right now, because my son is stuck inside. It's raining in San Diego. We're all kind of self-quarantined, like
days.
It's kind of this crazy time. And so it's really hard to keep a 2-year-old really interested in anything for more than 2 minutes. And so we pulled out this whole collection of Melissa and Doug puzzles that I bought at a garage sale. And I think I spent $10, and there's a stack of like 20 of them. And some of them are interactive where they make noises. Some of them aren't. And it's just so cool to think that, like, when I bought this from this lady, like, she was almost in tears. She was just like, man, it's just almost this, like, I'm getting rid of this part of my kid's life. Like,
I could see that.
So I felt bad for her, but I knew I was buying it for my kid. So it wasn't like, haha, I'm going to flip these and make a bunch of money.
Yeah.
So I didn't have that like guilt there. And I even told her, I was like, yeah, my kid he's too young for these right now, but I know he's going to get interested in them. And he's just now to the point where, like, he can really figure out like which pieces go where and how to put them in and how to turn them so they go. And it's just so cool to see, like, man, I bought this for you probably my first month or two of garage selling, this whole stack of toys. And I've tried a few times and he just wasn't ready for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I've got a slide out in my backyard, like a Fisher Price slide, one of those red blue ones, picked up at a garage sale for like $5 or $6. And he uses it all the time. So you can do, I'm not saying like necessarily go buy your kids stuffed animals at garage sales, like
You can always launder them.
yeah, but but certain things, you never know. You might be able to find some really cool pieces for pretty inexpensive that is for them. And then if they take care of them, maybe you do flip them.
There we go. Yeah, you rent them for
You're renting them
for a little bit. So, all right, let's see what's
Speaking
next.
of which, there was that renting program for a while. They have like
Was there?
for clothes and things like that. And my wife and I were like, what? They should do that for toys, because kids grow to toys.
Okay,
really
I
fast.
think you brought this up before.
And we looked it up, and there was a couple companies that tried it, and it just wasn't successful. And it makes sense because kids destroy toys. But yeah, it was like
destroy toys.
You got a box of toys. You paid like whatever it was, $20 a month, and you got this giant box of toys. And then when the kids were done with different ones, you'd pack them up and send it back, and you get another box.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was not a successful business model. They tried. All right, here we go.
Is this our final clip?
His final clip.
Okay. So we're trying to see what's on the
We
screen.
destroyed it today.
Well,
with
we'll talk
Hot
about it a
Wheels.
little bit.
Oh, that's awesome.
I bought a collection, like a big batch of cars for $40.
Awesome. So good day.
Yeah, good day. I mean, video games are so finished, it's not even funny. We used to find them
That is
everywhere.
true. That is so true.
I never find.
Now
video
it's
games.
all about mugs, baby. Mug life.
I don't know about
Mug
that. Though.
life. $2,500.
in mugs.
And yes, in the comments, after a couple of fees and some eBay fees and PayPal fees, guys, it's $2,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we don't have to go back. We did have, if you're watching on YouTube, at the very beginning of that clip, it showed like how much you paid and how much.
Yeah, it was like a little over
$100.
100, and then a couple $1,000 was what his net brought. And I'm assuming part of that were the pins, right?
Yeah, and he sold a ton of pins.
Yeah.
A ton of pins. And he sold a lot of Thomas, and some Hot Wheels that he picked up were about like $30, $40 value.
Really?
Which I've never picked up, like ever in my entire time, picked up Hot Wheels that are worth that much.
Yeah, you got to. I feel like Hot Wheels are one of those things, like most people want them in the box, right? Like I found a Hot Wheel. My son must have got it from his cousin, one of his cousins, and one of his cousins must have got it from like his grandpa who like collects old stuff. But I was like, where did this thing come from? And it's like, I want to say the 60s or something like that. I mean, I don't know the exact, but I looked and it's so old. It's like all metal, super old. You could tell. And I'm like, man, this would be kind of cool to find some of these. I bet there's some money in them. But a lot of times, yeah, Hot Wheels people want in the boxes. So it's surprising to hear that there's, if you, I guess, know which ones you're looking for, people will still buy them open, not lotted together.
Yeah, agreed. But it's very true what he, $2,000, right? And that obviously was overtime. So that's one thing you have to understand. Like if you're starting this, because we get this all the time. Like I went to garage sales, I listed 5 items. I haven't sold anything. Like I'm done with reselling. But so what Gary Vee, we got to understand he's presenting an idea, right? Because obviously Gary Vee he gave these, I think, to a relative of his to list on their eBay store. Right. And obviously eBay didn't list a lot of these, but what Gary Vee is trying to present in these videos that, hey, here's a side hustle that can help you out. And actually during this time right now, right, it is helping out some people. There are some sales that are coming through and right, there's this uncertainty, right? And so this side hustle, even if you can sell stuff from your home, may help you a little bit, as we try to figure things out, right? So the side hustle is possible. There's still money to be made, and it's very doable. And that's kind of what I got out of this. And when we do a reaction to the other episodes, it's kind of the same idea, but there's some different ideas in those too. So you have any other thoughts you'd like to share here?
Man, garage sales are great, and I can't wait to get back out there.
Neither can we. But hey, hopefully very soon, and hope all of you are staying healthy and you're staying safe, and hope you enjoyed this reaction video, and we look to drop some more episodes coming soon. And with that being said, hey, make sure to be real,
be relevant,
and be reselling. Peace.